Okay, this is going to be a what the heck do you think this is going to be video. Basically out here you can see I've got my large Reality CR10S. It's prints on a large glass plate that can print up to a 20-inch cube. So I'm printing something large. I only use this tool when I am printing something large because it has to be in a heated room in order for the bed to get up to 60 degrees Celsius so that filament will stick to the glass. And especially in the winter, which it is right now, I don't like heating a room. I do have this room right now up to a nice toasty 67 degrees Fahrenheit thanks to this little heater. And so the bed, I believe, has, yes, the bed has made it up to 60, which is where I want it. But you can see this thing isn't going to win any races for speed. Way back when this machine came out, there were very few. In fact, I think Prusa was probably the only company that had mesh bed leveling, where the machine samples along the bed and forms a graph, because the beds are never flat and they have to be, you know, very within the thickness of a piece of paper being right, or the filament won't stick. If the filament doesn't stick, then your part lifts up and warps and you've wasted all your time and money. So anyway, this is one of the old ones. You do have to level it by turning leveling knobs on the bottom side of this build plate and slipping a piece of paper between the nozzle and the glass and getting it right in there. And the reason they use glass is because when the build plate got this big, glass is the flattest thing they could come up with. All of metals and aluminums were never completely flat, and they would also change their shape as they heated up. So, of course, one of the drawbacks to using glass is it's very hard to get it to 60 degrees because it's a good insulator. It doesn't want to transfer the heat from the heat bed underneath up to the glass. So all in all, it's a very slow machine, but these days, for less money than I paid for this thing oh so many years ago, you can buy like the Creality K1 or something, or whatever it's called, which is a large format printer that will print a minimum of 3 times faster, probably closer to 5 times faster, costs less money, has auto bed mesh leveling and all the good bells and whistles. But none of that stuff existed back when I purchased this thing so many years ago. Originally I bought it so I could do the very large silent running drone that walks. If I can find the link to the video, I'll put that in the description box down below in case you want to check it out. I also did a whole bunch of silent running drones that walked that were small, you could hold in your hand. But talking about the large one, so I needed a large format printer for that. And I've used it for a few other projects besides that as well. And now I'm using it for this new project. So this is like a guessing game. You can try to guess, what the heck is this going to be? Got the other printers out here. I've got the resin printer, got the huge monster. Let's see, it was the TiVo monster. I was trying to remember who made it. TiVo. It's a Delta printer. It's very fast, and it does a really excellent job of printing. The only real problem, I'm trying to get back far enough to get the whole thing in the picture. When it's sitting on the floor instead of on the bench, it's 5 foot tall. So the problem is that, like when I had it in the house or something, I'd have to be on my hands and knees to see the first layer or remove a part or do anything like that. And I might have to stand on a chair because the filament is stored up on top to change filaments and get in there. I was just getting too old. It was too painful. It's too big of a machine, too tall. That's what I mean to say. And the one thing about the heat bed that I never particularly liked, it seems like you can see the big outer circle. That's your maximum build area. But the heat plate inside there only seems to come out to about here, like stays within an inch or so. So I had trouble with some prints sticking really well and printing in this area, no problem. But if I was filling the build plate, the corners where it wasn't heated and was cool, I'd get some lifting, and that kind of pissed me off that I couldn't use the full build plate. A couple more deltas in the back and an old one there that don't use anymore. Then I've got the Fulson as a backup to the Delta that I keep in the house for doing things like night lights and that kind of stuff for the wife and for the daughter. Picked them up dirt cheap. I think that one was under $100, and ended up getting a second one free from the person that was selling them. He just wanted to get rid of them. Excellent printer. Really does a fantastic job when you put them together. This particular one even has linear rails instead of the wheels on the sides. Junk printers that I purposely bought. That actually, that one is a junk one that I actually made. There's a junk one that I bought. They were like $79, and I just wanted to see what a $79 printer would do, if anything. I used to have some prints sitting on down there with it. Oh, they're still there. Hang on. You might find this interesting. So for $79, if you took the time to put it together right, having a hard time getting this plastic bag up. Here's a moon globe thing. You can print that without supports. So I mean, even years ago when I picked this thing up as a kit for the fun of it, you could tweak an inexpensive machine to working. I think you can still get those. Oh, but there's just no reason to anymore. What I got here, I got this guy I don't use anymore because normally sitting right here would be my Prusa MK3S, which up until when I bought the Mini A1, Bamboo Labs Mini A1 that I've been printing everything on, the Prusa was my go-to machine, my daily driver, and literally it was running every day for years and years and years. And it's in the house right now because I got a few parts that are too big to print on the Bamboo Labs A1 Mini, but I didn't want to tie up on this slow-moving machine because they weren't so big they needed to be here. So I'll be using the Prusa MK3 to print those parts. And this guy was just fell in between. I had a really good deal on it once, and I wanted to do some mods. Just don't use it anymore. So, leave in the comment box down below if, based on almost no information whatsoever, what you think this might be. Yes, it is robot related, if that helps at all. Get back there. Oh, and how long is it going to take? It's going to take, at this speed, it's going to take 3.5 days. So cross your fingers that there won't be any power outages. Power loss resume was a function that was just being talked about back when this thing came out. Prusa was pushing that on their machines, and so everyone was playing catch up. Back then it was Creality who was trying to keep up with them, and Prusa, you know, had the auto bed sensors, and everyone else was trying to catch up with that, and someone using like a BL Touch, which is a mechanical way of sensing, and Prusa was using a proximity sensor, which is better. Anyway, everyone was playing catch up. This is supposed to have power loss resume, but as I recall, never worked right. So they didn't really have it. They were just trying to get there, trying different ways of getting there. I think this has a BL Touch on it. If you want to see what those look like. Well, it's on the back side. You can't really see it. Oh, it's back here. See that little probe that my finger's touching? That comes down, and this whole head comes down and pokes around all over this bed. And it was like 30 some odd different places. And then that goes up into the computer, up in the control box, and it does a map, because there's no way to adjust that bed. That bed is bolted flat to the base. It does a map of the surface of what's high and what's low, and it adjusts everything. So we have your auto Beshmet leveling, and for being mechanical sensor, they work pretty good. Alright, that's it. It was just a short one. See you in about 3.5 days.